Hello, this is Paul, usually talking to you about high-powered rocket construction. Today I want to talk about space rock. They call it space rock, but I call it Pink Floyd. Now, this being late October 2006, I want to discuss the past year of Pink Floyd fans and craziness in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area. Now, they call it space rock. Space rock came out of the mid to late 60s rock and roll scene. It is a close cousin, if not actually, psychedelic rock. Interesting for people in San Francisco and Grateful Dead fans, after a close study of Pink Floyd's history, they actually held down the same role in London that the Grateful Dead did in San Francisco. That is, they were the premier band to go to in the late 60s. And they held their whole underground scene together. Of course, the band was founded by Syd Barrett, Roger Waters, and Nick Mason. Later, David Gilmour would come on board, and Syd would exit. Now, after making some studying, reading Mojo this year, I can actually believe the claim that Pink Floyd is the most popular rock and roll band ever. Rock bands close to them are the Beatles, of course, and the Rolling Stones. But Pink Floyd has a larger number of people who have attended a Pink Floyd concert. I think it was largely due to the massive 1994 Division Bell tour, which played in every state, all of the 50 states in America. And some of those numbers that Pink Floyd put up in those stadiums probably will never be topped by anybody else. They also have the most likely albums that you'll find in any rock and roll collection is at least one Pink Floyd album. Now, in England, I believe, they said something that 1 out of 4 people have at least one copy of Dark Side of the Moon. I think that's 25% of everyone in the neighborhood has Dark Side of the Moon. That's probably only a little lower here. Now, in the Pink Floyd cycle of this past 2006, we have to go back to July 2005 at the Live 8 concert. Of course, the original Pink Floyd reform, that being Roger and David actually getting on the same stage together, something that no one ever thought they'd see again. And after the July 2005 reunion, there was, in November 2005, the American tour, the first widespread American tour for the Australian Pink Floyd show. Then in April 2006, David Gilmour came around and played about 10 or 15 dates in the United States, one of them being the Oakland Paramount Theater, where all these shows I saw. Just to recap, the reunion was at Hyde Park in 2005. The Australian Pink Floyd played San Francisco Bay Area at the Stockton Bob Hope Theater. Anybody go up to Stockton, there's a reason to. It's a very nice little theater, similar to the Paramount. Then David Gilmour, of course, he played in early April at the Oakland Paramount Theater. And then, of course, 2 weeks ago, Roger Waters brought his full-blown rock band and heavy technology into the Shoreline Amphitheater on October 10th, 2006, October 10th. And the size and weight of the speakers and the show and the IMAX screen has really got to put that Roger Waters show up against the best of any of these late post-Pink Floyd versions. Finally, 2 weeks after Roger Waters goes to Shoreline, we are visited again by the Australian Pink Floyd show at the Oakland Paramount Theater. And I saw them there last night, and interestingly enough, when I first saw them a little less than a year ago, their whole show was wrapped around Dark Side of the Moon. They opened with Dark Side of the Moon and then had an intermission and then came back with a selection of Pink Floyd hits. This time, they had a totally different show, focusing, obviously, since Roger had been through with Dark Side of the Moon, they decided to focus on some other non-played as played Dark Side of the Moon type material from the other Pink Floyd albums. Now, before I move on, let me just say that those are the rock shows, but of course getting the Pulse DVD almost as good as going to one of the concerts, because I tell you, that is a really good DVD. It has the whole original Floyd, if you knew them, that'd be the 1994 Division Bell tour.